The following is me reading my history homework because I can. Enjoy. TCI Lesson 30, Section 5. How Alexander Used Religion. The second part of Alexander's plan to inspire loyalty among his followers and the people he had conquered involved religion. Alexander used religion in two ways. First, he honored Egyptian and Persian gods with the same respect he paid to those of Greek heritage. To show his respect, he visited oracle sites, made sacrifices, and ordered temples constructed to praise these gods. On one occasion, he visited the oracle site of Egyptian god Ammon. Upon his arrival, an Egyptian priest welcomed him as God's son, which helped Alexander gain the loyalty of Egyptian people. Second, Alexander promoted the idea that he himself was a god. After his visit to the Egyptian oracle, he began wearing a crown with two ram's horns that resembled the sacred headdress of Ammon. Seeing Alexander in the crown encouraged the Egyptians to accept him as a god. Alexander spread the story of Egyptian priests gathering throughout the empire. Eventually, he required all Greeks to accept him as the son of Zeus. TCI Lesson 30, Section 6. How Alexander adopted the ways of conquered cultures. The third part of Alexander's plan was to demonstrate respect for the cultural practices of the people he had conquered. One of the ways he achieved this goal was by adopting some of these practices. For example, in Persia, he adopted the original system of government, although he allowed Persian governors to coordinate the day-to-day business of their lands. Alexander was careful to appoint Macedonius to head the army and to control the taxes that were collected. Alexander also borrowed Persian customs. He began wearing a decorative Persian-style clothing. He received official visitors in a luxurious tent, similar to how a Persian king would have. Tall columns, which were covered in gold and silver and decorated with precious stones, supported the tent. Alexander demanded that each of his visitors greet him according to Persian custom. A visitor had to kneel in front of the throne and bend over until his head touched the ground. Alexander would then raise the visitor to his feet, kiss him, and address him as a kinsman. Finally, Alexander encouraged marriage between the people of Macedonia and Persia. He himself married the eldest daughter of Darius III, a Persian king he had defeated. Historians are unsure why Alexander behaved in these ways. Some believe that by adopting the customs of his former enemies, Alexander was simply attempting to be a more acceptable and popular leader. Other historians think that he truly considered all of the peoples he conquered to be equal to the Greeks and the Macedonians. TCI Lesson 30, Section 7. Alexander's empire crumbles. By 324 BCE, Alexander's armies were in northern India. After 10 years of fighting, the exhausted soldiers refused to continue. Reluctantly, Alexander returned to Babylon in Persia. In 323 BCE, he died at the age of 33. The time between his death and the start of the Roman Empire is called the Hellenistic period. After his death, Alexander's empire collapsed. Settlers deserted the cities he had constructed, causing the cities to decline into ruin. His generals battled to control the empire, but eventually his land was divided into three kingdoms. Egypt became one kingdom, Syria in the Middle East was the second, and Macedonia and Greece made a third. Alexander had distributed Greek ideas throughout a vast area. In the centuries ahead, Greek power would slowly deteriorate. However, Greek culture would continue to thrive and influence the land that Alexander had once ruled. Thank you all for watching, and I apologize that I stuttered so much. I tend to confuse words when I'm reading sometimes. Hope you all enjoyed, even though it's not too long and kind of boring. Hope you all have a great day and stay healthy. Bye.